It's a new year, new me, I'm vlogging every day of January, but I guess that means it's not a new me because I'm doing the exact same thing that I did in 2020. Oh God, that can't be good. Okay, Flynn. Hello, everybody. It's a crazy day in history today. We'll talk more about that later. Right now, we're not gonna talk about that. We are going to do, what are we gonna do? Advent! So in case you don't know, haven't been watching the last couple days, in my P.O. box, a couple people sent me a craft advent calendar because the craft advent calendar that I had was garbage. And so someone got me, two people actually got me a really incredible one. Flynn's very excited because he misses Advent, but I have to sneak trucks in it because he doesn't care about the crafts, he only cares about trucks, so I have to go find a truck in the house to sneak inside of it, so be right back. Okay, so here is the craft advent calendar. Okay, so this is the one for today. So open it up. What's in there? What is it?
Turkey.
It's a turkey? Can you show it to the camera? Oh, cool. Okay, so now it's time for babies. Let's see what baby got. What's in there? An excavator?
Thank you.
You're welcome. So yes, every day, since there's no cars in here, I just go take one of his cars out of his play bin, put it in, and he doesn't know the difference, so. Cool, excavator. You wanna show them what you got? Wow, that's so cool. And look, it spins. Wow. All right, so I'm gonna make my little ornament, and I'll be back in a little bit to show you guys what we have going on here. The news is really scary today. The news is really scary. Oh my gosh. So I'm gonna pretend it's Christmas and make a Christmas ornament. Goodbye. Here is today's ornament. Not as cute as other days, but still very cute, still very fun, and still not a rock. So I am satisfied. So this is just very, very exciting. I'm very happy. I'm gonna go put it on my not Christmas tree, on my bush in my house, in my bush in my house. Got a bush in my house, got a bush in my house. Okay, bye. To distract myself from the craziness in the news, I'm making a little water station for Flynn to play in, so fun stuff. Hey, get up with this. You try it?
Yeah.
Okay, try it. You pinch it. Yeah, like that. So open it up. There you go. You pinch it. You pinch it. Good job. Yeah, you did it. You did it. Good boy. Good job. Good job, Flynn. It's time for some science. Oh, colored water. What are you gonna do with it? What color? Do you want green? Okay, you gotta pour these two together. Okay, ready? Look, Flynn! You made green! You wanna pour that in here? Wow! What'd you do?
Green.
You wanna put the green in there? Wow! Look at that, baby! You pour it back in here? Whoa! Oops! Do you need a bigger bowl? I think you might need another big bowl. Do you want another big bowl? Here, wait. Wait. All right, water play is done. Flynn had a blast. And now I've crushed up Cheerios and like some pure grain, multi-grain cereal. And there's a couple Oreos and Cocoa Pebbles crushed up in this one. Cardboard in between, and all his little, some construction trucks. And we'll see if he likes this. Right now he's upstairs playing on the bed with Dada. So when they get down, we'll see if Flynn enjoys his new little setup. Sorry there's not much footage today of anything interesting. I'm sure we'll have a nice little chat tonight, but today's been such an interesting day in our country and in our history. So yeah, I've just kind of been glued to the news and watching what's going on, and I've been kind of focused on that and then distracting myself with fun Flynn things when I can. So that's what I've been doing. What do you see? What's that? What is it? Whoa, cool.
What is it? Is it Cocoa Krispies and regular Rice Krispies?
He hasn't figured that out yet.
Oh wow.
Flynn, one's the beach and one's the dirt and the mud. Beach, mud.
Watch this one. Beep, 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 beep.
Oh no, it got the mud.
Don't be suspicious, don't be suspicious, oh, don't be suspicious, don't be suspicious.
Flynn.
Oh no. Dirt.
Oh, dirt. It's dirt.
Yeah, you can't eat regular dirt.
It just goes dirt.
You
It's
can
good.
only eat this. This dirt is cookies. See, it's doo-doos. So this isn't dirt, this is doo-doo dirt. But listen, Flynn, the dirt outside, you can't eat the dirt outside. Only this dirt, okay? Gus, you idiot. Hello, everybody. Let's have a fireside chat, shall we? It's kind of hot over here. I don't know how long this is gonna last. I feel like today has been very interesting. Ooh, I got the shivers, which just made me think about all those TikToks I've seen that say like,
Did you know that if you get the shivers, it's a sign of anxiety and you probably have anxiety?
or it was just I was really cold and now I'm by a hot fire and I got warm and so my body went, that's also another reason why you get shivers. Anyway, that's not what I want to talk about right now. There are so many things that I want to say, but I don't know what I should say. Do you know what I mean? So basically, if you don't know what's going on in America and you live under a rock, or you just don't care about American politics, which is totally fair and fine. We had an election in November of last year for a new president. It was between Trump and Biden won. But Trump, our current president, said that it was all rigged, we cheated, and that there were fake votes and there were lost votes and there were votes thrown away. And he just is always saying how it was just so much cheating. It was all this cheating happened and he won. There's no way he didn't win. And so he has made his base believe that that is true, that like he actually won and that the Democrats cheated. Well, today was the day that our vice president goes through and they count all the electoral votes that have already been counted, but they go through and they count and confirm them all, essentially. And Trump wanted our vice president to not do that. But our vice president was like, no, I'm gonna do that. Then Trump basically wanted to hold a big rally protest for himself. And then he strongly encouraged his followers to go to the Capitol building where this was happening, encouraged them basically to go protest this. Now, I don't want to get like too deep into it because I don't want to like spread or add to hate or negativity, and I don't want the comment section to become like a war of people fighting. Like, my channel is supposed to be a place of positivity and kindness and love. I like that we have a democracy in America. I like that there are different parties and people believe different things and we can talk about those different things and become more open-minded and learn about how other people think and feel. Like, I think all that's really important. I was sad today because I think protesting is great, and I think it's a great way to show people that you care and that you want change and to demand change and encourage education and awareness for whatever issue is important to you. I think it's really cool that we get to protest. But what made me like sad, a few things, like seeing so many Confederate flags, like, my God, Confederate flags, just the history behind a Confederate flag and what it stands for and its meaning and how hurtful that can be to an entire community of people to see that flag waving proudly is like, it's hard to see. And there were people who were climbing the Capitol building and taking down American flags and putting up Trump flags. That to me was one of the most upsetting things as someone who has multiple family members who have served. Like, I was raised to respect the American flag. I was taught that you do not let American flag touch the ground. That American flag never goes upside down. You do not let it, I remember being in the car with my grandpa once who served. Both my grandparents served, my uncle served. I have so many military family members. I remember being in the car with my grandpa once and we drove past a building and they had a flag up that was a little bit ripped. And I remember him pulling the car over with me in the car. He was so hurt. It was offensive to him after he had risked his life and served our country that someone would let a flag fly that was a little tattered. And he pulled over, went into the building and requested kindly that they please get a new flag because of how disrespectful that was. It's burned in my brain. So to see them take down the American flag and replace it with a Trump flag, to me, just rip it down, and it was jarring for me to see that, just because of how much it is ingrained in me that you respect the American flag. I really don't like violence, and there was violence today. The number one thing that was super upsetting to me today was just seeing how I remember when all the protests were happening earlier this year and watching people be hit with rubber bullets repeatedly, beat, punched in the face, tear gassed, screamed at horrible profanities, shoved to the ground by police officers. And I didn't see much of that today, which I'm not saying I wish that happened to them. I certainly don't at all. I don't want anyone to be hurt. I don't want any violence. It was just hard to watch that happen. And it wasn't it's not me being brainwashed and just believing what the media tells me. I have friends, my friends, people that I know and love who are peaceful, kind, calm people who went to protest in Los Angeles and were on their knees peacefully protesting in the middle of the day and would get the SHIT beat out of them, would be tear gassed, would be shot with rubber bullets for being completely peaceful, no fighting, no rioting, nothing. I know riots happened in America, but they were treated so horribly and hurt so terribly for protesting for just basic human rights. It was weird and hard to see wait, they're just storming the Capitol building and it's just people are just letting them do that? That's so odd, because I remember when Black Lives Matter protests were happening and there were a majillion terrifying men on the Capitol steps with machine guns ready and wouldn't even let them get on the steps, and now people are just going and walking around like it ain't no big thing. 4 people died today, bleh. So anyway, what I wanted to say is this. I'm trying my hardest to learn this year and be educated, and especially with everything that has happened this year, I feel I've learned a lot, and I'm trying my hardest to be a listener and be an ally to so many different groups of people by being a listener. As a white privileged woman, I just want to be good at listening and learning, and I don't want to speak when it's not my turn, and I don't want to talk about things I'm not educated in and misspeak. So today I was going through and I wanted to say something, but I was I feel I'm gonna say the wrong thing, and I felt so heavy and kind of sad watching this. I just want the world to be unified, and I want our country to be unified, and I want to have a democracy where we all believe different things and we can respect and love each other for those different things and learn from each other from those different things. And that's not what I see anymore. I just see a lot of hatred and anger and violence. So I was trying to retweet and build up the voices of people who know more than I do, especially when it comes to the comparison of the protests and riots that happened earlier this year and what happened today. But because I was retweeting things like this, I was getting a lot of backlash from people who supported the protests that were happening today. The majority of the responses I got, though, were you can't have it both ways. You can't support the protests that happened earlier this year and not support the protests today. You can have it both ways. I don't want it both ways. I don't want it both ways. I think everyone should be able to protest what they need to protest, and I don't like violence. It scares me. It makes me uncomfortable. It makes me sad. I don't like violence. I don't like people getting hurt. I don't like confrontation. I don't want it both ways. I don't want there to ever be riots and looting and violence, but I also don't want innocent people to be murdered for no reason. And I don't want police brutality, and I don't want racism in our country, and I don't want our government to be as corrupt as it is. I don't want a lot of things, but I certainly don't want it both ways. I don't want people to get hurt, and I didn't want people to be hurt today. I didn't want people to be hurt with the protests and riots earlier this year. But I will say this, I was extremely supportive of the protests earlier this year, and while I am not supportive of violence, and I really obviously didn't like the looting, I also felt like it wasn't my place to say they shouldn't be doing that, because I'm not a person of color. And I don't know what it's like to feel the way that they have felt for so many years, and to feel like no one listens and no one's paying attention to them after all the pain and hurt and everything for so many years. I don't know that pain. I don't know that feeling. It was not my place to say they should not be doing this. I can say I don't like violence. I can say I don't understand why this is happening. I can say those things, but I can't say they shouldn't do it because I've never been in their position. But I will say that today I have been in the position of the people who are being violent today. I have voted for someone and they lost the election, and I was really upset about that. It happened 4 years ago. I was extremely upset 4 years ago, and I cried a lot. I was really sad. And I even honestly many times felt like the election was rigged, unfair, cheated. Like, I totally felt that way many times. And I don't think that, even though I felt that way, even though a lot of people felt that way, I don't think that rioting and causing violence and breaking into the Capitol building is appropriate in that situation. It's also just kind of blowing my mind that people are comparing the two situations, that people are comparing what happened today with fighting for equality and justice. Like, literally, people were fighting earlier in 2020 with the Black Lives Matter movement. What people were fighting for was like, they just wanted to not be killed for no reason. It's a little different than like the person you wanted to win the presidency lost. I just feel like there's a really big difference between like breaking into like a Target and breaking into like the Capitol building. Both are wrong. Both are not good. But like, I do feel like, I don't know. I feel like I'm talking too much about this, and I don't feel like, I don't know, I feel like it's just gonna upset people, but it is the majority of what my day was watching the news and trying to really look at it from an unbiased opinion. And, you know, when the protests started and everything started, I was like really on the side of like, this is totally fair. Like, they're allowed to protest if they're upset. Like, that's our right as an American. And I love that we have that opportunity to protest things that we think are unjust or unfair. Like, even if I don't agree with them, like, that's fair. They're allowed to do that. And it wasn't until they were like storming the Capitol building and the police weren't doing anything like they did for peaceful protests that I saw earlier in 2020. That's when I was like, wait, what's going on? This is making me sad. But anyway, I just want everyone to be treated equally and everyone to respect each other. That's what I want. But my back's getting very hot from this fire, so I think I'm gonna go. I love you guys.